respect it. If I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house. The dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
What's able one Razorback?
Second half, very happy.
And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning. Halftime, a Thursday. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and the C Unit is in here for at least the first couple of hours. Great to be with you today. A little cooler out there today. I'm excited about a big weekend of great baseball at Paul Walker. We should have the biggest crowd, maybe some of the biggest crowds of the year. This is going to be a weekend to get the SPF out. I don't know what do you do. SPF 15, Matt? What number do you have to put on if you're going to get outside? I think you're kind of like me, where you might actually wear like a long sleeve shirt in that case.
No question about it. Being in Jacksonville, having to do camp outside, they had this stuff called bullfrog.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was the best thing. But no, I'm the older I get, I would dress like a beekeeper. You just get you a long sleeve Under Armour, long sleeve fishing shirt of some kind. Get you a hat that breathes. Yeah, I don't really do the sun. I dress like a beekeeper most of the time I go out.
And you belong where I am at the baseball games. You belong in the booth. Still get a little bit of like a farmer's tan if you're just in a booth. You can't help it.
Like Tom Waits says, I look good without a shirt, so I'm not scared to take my shirt off for a little bit, but it's a 20-minute increment, and then I got to put it back on because it's just it's white to red. There's really no in between. Now, my sisters, on the other hand, they can bronze up, but I've never been able to.
I'm like you. I don't understand the people that whatever's up with your skin that you don't have to put any SPF on it at all, and yet you're able to just sit there and bake. But that's only part of the experience of being out in the hog pen on a day like what you might get on Saturday. I think tomorrow for the first game against Murray State, it'll be about 60 degrees, so it's not a day to be outside like that. Next day, you're getting up to like 79. Now, maybe that's not great laying out weather, but if it's the first opportunity to, then you know that people are going to do that. And so that SPF smell will be out in the hog pen, the barbecue smell, the beer smell, and it'll be the first time that we have, it'll be a day game, not a night game, but it'll be like an outdoor nightclub once again.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Don't care if I ever get back.
That's right.
Well, not as much time at the ballpark as it used to be, but I can't wait to see those crowds because you'll see those crowds. People love to be at the hog pen.
There's some, to your point, Phil, to continue with you, there's some success going on there. I think Razorback fans, when you talked about how Bubba Elson had brought his son and showed up way early, it's the excitement, it's the newness, it's the hope. There's not a lot going on with the football and basketball team that brings you a lot of hope or any ability to win. I mean, it's been very slim pickings, and so now you get a baseball team that's actually good. And so I think the fans are going to – I think this will be the best year for baseball as far as the fans. And it's kind of a shame that the other two teams had to be so subpar, but at least the baseball team's picking it up for us.
Well, there'll be a bigger crowd than at the last basketball game. Probably before first pitch, too. That was so depressing to see. I mean, the performance is one thing, and yes, that was depressing, too. But, the state of a program where – that when you're playing well, even on a Tuesday night, I don't know if it would have been like sold out 19,200 actually people there for a Vanderbilt game, but let's just say that you were playing as well as the team was expected to play, and even in late February against Vanderbilt on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, you might have had 15 to 16,000 people there if you believed in it.
No question. Razorback fans are the absolute best, but you have to do something. You know, you got to compete. This basketball team since the start of the new year. I mean, you look at conference play. We have not beat a single team that's going to make the NCAA tournament. And the same thing with the football team. Football team won one conference game. Not one conference team that they beat made a bowl game. Same concepts. Basketball team and football team have been flatliners.
We take solace in the idea that you're the reason. Did Florida won 5, right? I think
they finished 3 in a row. Yeah.
So Arkansas is the reason they didn't play in a bowl game. Hey, take pride in being the idea that Arkansas is the reason that Texas A&M might not make the NCAA basketball tournament. I hate that that's where it is, though. You just kind of take pride in being a spoiler for somebody else and ruining their season, when usually you're the team that somebody's trying to ruin. Well, in the basketball sense. But so why do people feel this way about baseball, Matt? Even with, I think some people's nerves about the lineup and whether or not they'll be able to score enough runs this year, and I think they will. You have this track record. So we're only looking at SEC wins right now. Only at SEC wins. The last 7 years, baseball has won 63% of their SEC games.
Whoa.
There's not a team in the SEC that is anywhere close to that.
That's getting it done right there.
Now, that's 6 SEC seasons, 7 years. You didn't have any SEC games in 2020. So now you kind of picked up on the idea that one conference win in football. What is it now in basketball?
5 with 3 to go, one home game. All 3 teams we're playing are going to have the better athletes than us. Is this team still buying in at all? Are they still trying to get down to it? I don't know.
Caleb Battle has.
Yeah, Battle's been a joy to watch at times. He's definitely he's a player, man. I got nothing wrong with Battle. He's a guy that can score a little bit. The best thing that Battle's done is he's picked it up on the defensive end. He had 2 steals in the first 5 minutes last game. Had some deflections. He's a little more efficient. I've seen him pass the ball a little better, and maybe that's a thing where you got this collection of guys that come in. You can't just roll the ball out there and think in 3 weeks they're going to figure it out.
Or even 3 months.
I go back to when LeBron James took his talents to South Beach, and that best team they could assemble. They lost the championship that first year. It took that second year before they were able to win it.
Yeah, handshakes and hanging out and barbecues together don't necessarily lead to on-court, on-field chemistry, much as you might like it to. Doesn't necessarily work that way. I think in Battle's eyes, he's playing to finish strong, to secure a spot. I think with this team next year. Obviously this team's not going to be held together, and everybody with eligibility probably doesn't return. I think Battle's a guy that you want, and I think he wants to be here. That's what I'm gathering when I'm watching him play right now. And I'm not putting it in these terms to say that Muss is not coaching right now with this team and preparing them to play against Kentucky and Alabama and LSU and whoever they play probably next Wednesday. But they have to be looking ahead. You have to be. If Battle is thinking, and again, I'm thinking for him here, if he's thinking, I got to do what I can so that they're not telling me, this ain't the place for you. Go find somewhere else to play because I like it here. I want to be here. So he's playing like that. Like the year I was around a baseball team that wasn't any good, they were coaching for that year, but they were also looking ahead. You have to. Don't you have to? Muss has to be looking ahead right now to what happens once the season's over and you start your exit meetings.
Well, there's a bit, growing up with a coach and being around coaches my whole life. There's a bit, and Coach Muss does this a little bit, I think, during the game, but there's a bit that if you gave these guys a chance, they earned a chance to go out there and play. They fell on their face. They didn't get it done. Well, sorry, sweetheart. We're going to play the next guy up because we have to. That was your time. We gave you the chance, and you kept getting L's. You couldn't do it. So come over and sit by me. It's not your fault. We're the one that gave you the money. We're the one that gave you the scholarship. Come over and sit by me. We're going to have to figure something out.
Great Jason thinks Battle's padding his resume so he can get a better NIL deal somewhere else.
I'm a fan of Battle. I don't know that he's an SEC caliber guard that you're going to win a lot of games with. I think Mark's a guy that you want coming back. If I was to pick one guard, Mark, definitely. Blocker would be a guy I want coming back next year. That when you're trying to take pieces to say, all right, we got to go out in this transfer portal and this wild west of NIL. We got to go bring some new pieces in. Well, who would you want to stay? Would Pinion stay? Pinion's not getting any tick. You're thinking that Vanderbilt game when they're going 2-3 zone, 1-3-1 zone, Pinion can't get out there and hit a three?
No, the writing's on the wall there.
There's no way. As a competitor, as a player, if I'm not playing, well, then let me go. So what can I do, Coach, to get me in? What can I do to play? And then if you can't play, it's like, well, let me go somewhere where I can play.
Well, the writing's on the wall, I think, in a lot of cases.
But I would love Debo back. I would love Landon Blocker back, and I would love Tremont Mark back. If I got to pick 3 guards that I wanted to come back and be Razorbacks next year, those would be my 3.
One last run for Devo.
Debo's an elite defensive talent. You just have to get some pieces around him. And
what about the idea that there's that now you got the track going by track record 2 years in a row, step away from the team, and one time twice.
I don't know. The thing is, you're asking me questions that I don't know. I don't know
either.
That's what I mean.
Just being devil's advocate.
If he was able to do whatever he had to do to come back, the team accepted him back. He played 40 minutes his second game back. I think that the talent's clearly there. But if you have Brazil, you have Devo, you have Blocker, you have Mark. That's 4 guards. That's 4 guys right there that I know that can play in the SEC. Brazil has to get better. I mean, you have to think this is his 3rd year in there. I'd have him watching guys play defense for a while and just understand the geometry of it. Understand the concept of when your guy's here and the ball's over there and the hoop's here, don't be so hugged up, Tuck it. You don't have to tie his shorts for him, understand. We just got to take it slow with these guys and let them understand where you're supposed to be in the right spot.
What about putting them into some tackling drills to develop a little toughness? It's okay to be hit and be a big man and play like a big man. And not just finesse. I mean, so these conversations we're having now, fans are having these conversations across the state. If you're going to watch Saturday against Kentucky, I'd be watching Saturday to see if Caleb Battle can score 30 points or more again, while Arkansas probably gets drubbed by Kentucky.
Well, I watch a lot of Premier League, and there's forwards that they're called bottom feeders, and they don't score against the top 6. So you got to look at who he's scoring these points against. He's not. Point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mizzou,
Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, teams that aren't any good.
If you do it against Kentucky, can he come back?
There we go. Do it against Tennessee.
Stay with us. Halftime back in just a moment.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500s. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Would you like to cut your utility bills without cutting comfort? Stay cool and save while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system. Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs since 1968. J&B Supply with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, soon, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Temperatures rising, fever is high. Can't see no future, can't see no sky. Feet are so heavy, so is my head. I wish I was a baby, wish I was dead. Turkey has got me on the run.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Really exciting SEC basketball season coming into the home stretch here. And, man, are Alabama and Tennessee on a collision course or what?
They play Saturday.
Yes, they do. Yeah, both put up over, did Tennessee do it? No, Tennessee finished with 92 points in their win over Auburn. Alabama, who got 117 hung on them by Kentucky, blew out Ole Miss 103-88. You've seen who Tennessee finishes with this year. Auburn, Bama, Carolina, and Kentucky. I guess the SEC schedule thought that they would give Tennessee a little bit of a not a weekend off, but no one expected Carolina to be as good as they've been this year. 4 ranked teams to finish out the regular season. And hey, this Saturday, Matt, Arkansas, Kentucky, we're lucky. It's on CBS. Everybody gets to watch it nationwide.
Had game day come in the first iteration, and then you get Alabama finishes Tennessee at Florida, Arkansas. So you got to think that Man, that's what a way to finish right there at Florida, because Florida can beat anybody in the conference. I mean, that's just as athletic. And then Arkansas Saturday, March 9th.
Florida and South Carolina. That's a really exciting one right there. So right now, the winner of the Tennessee-Alabama game has the edge for the top seed overall. And really, I mean, you're right now you're trying to win a regular season SEC championship. You get a banner for that? Pretty sure you do.
Absolutely.
All right, so you're playing for a banner, maybe a ring. Wouldn't be surprised if you see both those teams make it all the way to the championship game. That's for sure. Arkansas right now is the 12 seed, 3 games left. You do have the tiebreaker over A&M. I don't even know why I'm looking at these and trying to figure out a way that Arkansas gets out of playing in the last day. A little trouble feeling like it'll actually happen. I do think you may end up seeing both the men's and women's teams playing on the first day of the SEC tournament. I don't know if that's ever happened before. We were looking back. Matt posited a guess that the combined total victory, the victory total in the SEC between football and men's basketball could be the lowest ever. It looks like it's the second lowest.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking because Nolan Richardson brought us into the SEC, and you know, as long as the hoop squad's, you know, around 500, you're all right. But then with the football team, Amber Heard in the bed, you're thinking, well, what's this basketball going to do? And they pretty much did the same thing. I mean, they basketball and football team, they might be related to Amber Heard. You might have to check that out.
Nolan's worst SEC record was his last at 6-10. Other than that, he had only 2 losing seasons in the SEC. And of course, that doesn't even count all that dominance in the Southwest Conference. So, yeah, there is one other year where there have been, as of now, fewer victories in the SEC than right now. And this is with 3 basketball games left. I'll give Arkansas a fighting chance against LSU at home. The road games, I'm not ready to predict any upsets. The only year that there have been fewer SEC wins is 2008.
Oh, that's your boy right there, yeah.
Which one? Which boy of mine?
The other ginger, the Pelfrey ginger. Yeah. I was trying to think of what number he was, but I don't know. He was
How about, well, I'll give you a number, 2 SEC wins in his second year.
Who was that? A Jeff Long hire? Was that who hired Pelfrey? That was good for the program.
I think I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was that made that decision, but that's a good guess. And then Petrino's first year, and they won 2 games, wins at Auburn and the Casey Dick comeback game against LSU, which of course sent you into the postseason thinking, hey, look what's about to happen. And then look what actually did happen a couple of years later. So yeah, that was 4 SEC wins. You already have 6 now, so you're not on that level. The thing about this is remember where we were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we were lauding everything going on the Hill, and I think for good reason. I mean, football had just won 9 games, 4 in conference. You had basketball in the Elite 8. Baseball was on their way to the College World Series, and everything it wasn't just like good in Fayetteville on the Hill. It was, man, it's never been like this before. And now 2 years later, we're looking in a different direction. Now, I think you'll get things turned around. I think basketball is going to get back to winning ways. I mean, I trust us to put a roster together.
That was my question to you. That what I was going to ask was, who do you have more faith in? Do you have more faith in Coach Sam Pittman, the Travis Williams, and Bobby Petrino, or do you have more faith in Coach Muss that next year? You know, what's more likely, the football team makes a bowl game or the basketball team goes back to the NCAA tournament? Like, that's the question. Which one of these is going to bounce? Because do you think both of them happen? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. But one of them, my faith, I'd be saying Coach Muss. I think Coach Muss, this is an anomaly. Whatever we did to go out and recruit the smaller athlete, the athlete that plays below the rim. Let's get back to getting the 6'7" rangy guys, the guys that can jump, the better athletes in recruiting, and I think he will. I think he understands that he missed on a couple guys.
But it also feels to me like it's tougher to dig out of a hole in football in the SEC. I mean, it's really difficult to dig out of this hole. With NIL issues, with
you're right in the fact that it only takes one. You go get an Anthony Black. Yeah. You go get the kid from Dalton Connect. You go get somebody, a Grant Nelson. You get
and the right guy.
You have to go get a 5. There has to be a 5-star on the team in basketball, no question. Basketball is the coolest sport in the fact that when you look at the NBA, the team with the best player usually they're making it to the finals, and the same thing in college. You got to have. That's what I mean. Where are the expectations for this team? Because when I watch us warm up, I will go out there and I've seen every game we play. We've only been the better athletic team, the more athletic team, maybe against 3 opponents, and Vanderbilt beat us. We're more athletic than Vanderbilt, and we let them come in here and smack us around.
It made no sense. Well, whomever makes the schedule for CBS obviously thought that this Saturday's game was going to be a major game, not just in the SEC, but across college basketball. That Arkansas versus Kentucky draws eyes. ESPN wouldn't have planned coming to Fayetteville for game day if that wasn't the case. But it doesn't have the juice. It doesn't have the juice right now. It doesn't feel like that. If you could flex a game,
you put that Tennessee-Alabama game right
absolutely.
there. Yeah.
I mean, I know that's on ESPN. They would give up that game and they're out of their cold, dead hands at ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, you got Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee, but that Tennessee-Alabama game. It's an opportunity, like you said, for these kids if they're going to be Arkansas Razorbacks next year or if they're going to go on. But you want to put good tape out there, and we know the talent. Just watch the difference. When you watch Arkansas, Kentucky play, and then tell me what you think, because I see it. I see where the talent is. I see the length. I see the athletic ability, and then watch Arkansas. We got a couple guys that can play a little bit, but I mean, look at our record.
I can be blissfully unaware of all of that on Saturday. I can absolutely be completely blissfully unaware and just hang out around the batting cage when it's tip-off time, 12:30 tip-off. It's about the time batting practice starts. I'm sure the game won't be on the video board because it'll just be time for the guys to focus in on what's coming up, which is Murray State. And I can do the exact same thing. I can almost act like Saturday's Arkansas-Kentucky game does not exist. You, on the other hand, you're doing the post-game eulogy, as you like to call it. You got to watch that whole game. Who wins? I'm not asking you for a prediction on the game, but who's having the better day? That's right. Hey, give us a call or a text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Brett Dolan, hour number 3. Bob Holt, hour number 2. And we'll see what's up next.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 87. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Had my word thirst quenched this morning when I learned that February 29th actually has a word that can be attached to it. Bisextile. You would not think that the word bisextile would be defined as having the extra day of a leap year. Bisextile.
I thought bisextile would be where you did your floor and tile in your bathroom. Bisextile, where the guys on this side, girls on that side.
It's not the direction I thought you would take that in. I was a little nervous when you started saying this is what I think this word is.
Bisextile made me think of a bathroom, a his and hers bathroom. You know, that's what you're doing. Bisextile.
That's well done. Yeah. All right. So that's the Jack and Jill toilet.
There you go. Exactly.
You got your two sinks. You better have your double toilet. I've seen these before. I've definitely seen these before. I have definitely already made the decision. I think the good life decision. We'll share a toilet later in life. Not you and me, but whomever it is that I end up with.
You ever watch the Alaskan Frontier? And you know it's all for show or whatever, but they put in a plumbing, inside plumbing. You know, they had to go to the outhouse for years and years. So it'd be nice to share a toilet and not have to walk out there all the time.
Do you have a bisextile outhouse? No, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Anyway, bisextile happens once every 4 years.
Should be a holiday, honestly.
No kidding.
Once every 4 years, everybody chillax, have a chilada, enjoy the fact that we get another day above this earth and be thankful for this extra day of life instead of making us just grind and work again.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's like, hey, whoever was it Copernicus that put this calendar together? He and the CBS basketball scheduler have something in common here. They made a mistake. They had to throw an extra day in once every 4 years. Can't trade this basketball game either. Got a couple callers on hold. Let's get to them. Yeah, that's the McClarty Daniel hotline. I'll spit it out. 877-377-6963. Juwan is up first. Juwan, it's been a while since we heard from you. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Just watching some baseball. Watching a little bit of indoor track and field as well, and watching all-season football.
What football is it that you are watching right now?
What, football?
Yeah.
Well, pretty soon it would be the UFL whenever they get started, but I'm just watching all-season stuff about college, about all this conference realignment, what everybody's going to look like whenever the season starts. Trying to see if Notre Dame's going to go to the Big Ten or the ACC. There's a lot of that kind of talk right now.
Hey, have you heard these rumors? There have been rumors thrown out there about this. Big Ten's interested in Texas A&M. Take them.
I have. Then I heard somebody shut it down from a money guy over there at A&M. That they're probably just going to stay in the SEC, but I could see them definitely leaving because, they never wanted to compete with Texas. That's why they initially left the Big 12 anyway. So I could see them moving.
That really would be something else.
They seem like a Big Ten team, though. If you start thinking about it a little bit, I could see A&M belonging in the Big. I could see Arkansas if we don't start doing anything better. We don't belong in the SEC if we're not going to win any games.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see once you get to the point where leagues start dropping members potentially.
I get upset when people say that about Arkansas playing in the SEC. Before all this happened, Arkansas was one of the only teams to go to the win the Western Division twice. Matt, you're the quarterback whenever y'all went and faced Georgia. That was one of the times, and I still say if Reggie Fish never tried to field that kick on the goal line against Florida, we'd be talking about the Razorbacks in a different light, man. We would have beat Florida. We would have probably went and smashed on Ohio State in the national championship because there was nobody who could stop our rushing attack that year. So, I do. That gets me a little fired up when people say that we can't compete in the SEC. But last year we were one score away.
It's just that it's difficult to dig out of a hole.
Well, and when you see your best in-state talent leaving, going to other SEC programs, going to other places, we're not even recruiting kids in the state. I don't know what happened this year, but it's been a bummer this year up there on the Hill.
Right, and I'm upset about that as well because we shouldn't have to go anywhere but our state. We had Walker White right here in our state, Courtney Critchfield, the other kid from Pine Bluff. I don't know if anybody's seen what Walker White did in that Under Armour game. He was out there balling, man. I think he had a 60-yard touchdown pass.
See, that's the football that Juwan's watching. I mean, he's watching all these games that actually are going to help you figure out whether or not a kid might do something in college right now.
Oh, man, I'm watching that. Anything that has to do with Arkansas high school, I'm watching it right now. I'm watching the state basketball tournament as well, but I just wish, speaking of basketball, we're not recruiting any guys this year in our state. None of our top basketball players in the state are going to Arkansas, but they are going to Missouri. That's what bothers me, man. If we get our in-state talent, Arkansas would be in a whole nother place. But I was just calling in about the question about the basketball and the football team. We went a little other places, but I'm all good with it. I really feel like Sam Pittman, with their back against the wall with Bobby Petrino and Travis Williams, I think we can go to a bowl next year. I'm not saying we're going to the New Year's Six Bowl, and I'm not saying we're going to make the playoffs, because Ole Miss right now, they're a crazy team with what they did in the transfer portal in this offseason. But I think at this point right now, Arkansas, we can beat, even though we don't play them next year, I think we're probably a better team than Alabama and Texas A&M. If we can beat A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, if we can at least win 2 or 3 of those games, I think we'll be back in the ball game next year.
If we go,
we have a little bit of a different schedule.
Yeah, 3-1 in the non-conference. I know we go to Stillwater, so that's a toss-up game. But if you can go at least 3-1, you'd like to go 4-0. But I'm with you. We can win 3 conference games next year. This football team can.
Who's around you right now, Juwan?
I got to get the best.
Wow, that's an exciting place.
She thought that we could win 3 games as well.
I think she was. I think she was disagreeing.
She might be saying 4, huh?
That sounded like a heavy disagreement. That sounded like almost. What are you talking about here? That's not happening. Brent in Stuttgart doesn't quite sound like that. He's next up on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hey, Brent, no screaming kids.
No screaming kids.
Okay.
Matt, I could not agree with you more about.
Can't hear you, Brent. Connection's not very good. Well, I think he's saying that he agrees with you that you're not recruiting in-state kids enough. That's the direction I thought he was going here. I'll try Brent one more time and see if it's actually working. Brent, did I accurately describe what you were going to try to say there, which was Arkansas's not recruiting in-state kids enough? Try again. Okay, so that won't work either. That's fine. 877-377-6963.
It's a whole vibe. It's a movement. When you're recruiting Arkansas kids, especially the kids that can play, what do you think the 9th graders, the 10th graders, the 11th, what do you think they're talking about? They're talking about, White just showed out, balled out, he's going to Auburn. They're talking about Auburn. It just starts a movement. You want them young. You got to teach them young. You want them talking about the Razorbacks. Coach Nutt understood that. Coach Nutt was one of the best at recruiting in-state talent. If you were an in-state guy, then he was going to go get you, and then he would go pluck, a Caleb Miller from Texas. He would go get a Sparky Hamilton from Texas. He would go get a Tony Bua from Louisiana. The bordering states that were around here. He'd go get somebody from Florida,
like that's
Ahmad Carroll from. Yeah.
Are you kind of saying like the idea is you build your roster first around who's in the state, and then go outward from there?
Yeah, you have to get help when you're at the University of Arkansas. But the thing that you can't do is lose your 3 best players every year. Like, that's what I'm saying. You gotta have your 5, your 6 guys. There's every year in this state, there's 5, 6, 8. Sometimes you might get 11. But there's the guys that you have in this state that can play football every year. Same thing with basketball. I can't believe we're not recruiting any of these kids. You look in the NBA right now, and you look at all the talent that's from this state of Arkansas that either played high school ball or college ball. Daniel Gafford, Bobby Portis, Patrick Beverly, Malik Monk, Nick Smith, Anthony Black. I mean, you're looking just all the kids at Oklahoma City. It's just littered with kids from the state of Arkansas and kids that went to the university.
Well, and basketball's got a smaller roster, so it would definitely be a little easier to, if you're going to, you build it around Arkansas kids. Football be tougher to do. It's just the numbers don't work.
Well, Arkansas's produced a lot of great in-state talent. You talk about a Sean Andrews, a Jeb Huckabee. You talk about both the Allen kids. You got another kid in your backyard right now. I haven't seen the kid play from Greenwood. I think Northside has a good kid that can play a little bit.
Well, how about the idea too? So the two quarterbacks that were not recruited at Arkansas, Walker White at Auburn, Drake Lindsey in Fayetteville. You probably weren't going to. I mean, you talked to both of them, knowing if you're recruiting both of them, you really are probably just going to get one of them.
That's a total normal thing, and that's to get one. You take it. So there was a guy named D'Angelo Williams, and then a guy named Darius Howard, and one of them went to Memphis. Cedric Houston was another running back that went to Tennessee. And we took Darius Howard. That's like you don't get, if you have, that's a good problem. It's like you have 4 catchers and you said, coach, then you trade one. It's like, but you can't. It's the same thing. The state might produce three running backs that can play high level, and you choose one. You
should get the pickings.
You get the pick of the litter. That's right.
Well, how much of this has to do with who was doing the recruiting for that position at that time? I mean, head coach is obviously over everything. He deferred. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Sam deferred to his coordinators and the offensive coordinators too, as I think a lot of coaches might, but when it comes to last word, who gets the last word? Enos wasn't interested in those two.
It's true.
Not at all.
Yeah.
What did I see he's doing now? I think he was hired at Florida as an off-field analyst.
There you go.
Is this the second time that he's taken a job as an analyst? I think it's the second time, which means rebuilding a career a second time. All right, Brent, let's give it one more try. Let's see if this thing works. Brent, you're on half.
All right, it was my bad. Matt, I agree 100% with you about the state of the Razorbacks. I'm going to tell you where the problem is with our recruiting in the in-state Arkansas. In-state Arkansas. You ready for it?
Been ready for it, Brent. Hit us.
Okay, Matt, you think about it. Sam Pittman's got nobody on his staff that played at the University of Arkansas. I believe I'm correct.
I think you're right.
He thinks just because he loved the Razorbacks, he's the Razorback. He has not blood, sweat, and tears a Razorback. And I tell you what, it makes me mad that they have nobody with state of Arkansas ties as director of high school relations. They got somebody from Kansas. He doesn't know Crockett from Junction City. I am frustrated with how Sam Pittman treats Arkansas recruiting, and that's because there's no reason we should have lost Courtney Crutchfield, Walker White, or Jack Lindsey.
In fairness, they did recruit Crutchfield, and they got him to commit, but that only stands for so much. That wasn't out of effort. That wasn't a lack of effort towards Crutchfield.
Well, I'll give you that, but Coach Pittman has got to improve. He is on, because if I don't mean this bad, he's on life support, baby, right now. He's on life support.
Brent, I would imagine that you got to be self-aware about situations. You feel good about yourself as a person, as a coach, what you do in life. You also have to be self-aware about, what expectations are that you have for yourself and who your bosses have. You can't go into this season like fully expecting, hey, everything goes like it did last year. I'm just fine. I'd push back a little bit too on the blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, the guy, whether he's well paid or not, kind of dedicated your life for the last 4 years to coaching the program. So that is blood and sweat and tears. But he didn't play at Arkansas. I get what you're saying. Dowell was on staff. That's the last one. Last former Razorback to play at Arkansas on staff.
You got Trey Knox the year before. Got the Rocket this last year. You looking at Missouri's coaching staff. They got high school coaches from Arkansas. They seem to know what they're doing.
Wrap up hour number 1 of halftime in just a moment.
Save today. The Subaru and Fruitville Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Potomac.
Everyone is invited to save on every vehicle on our lot.
Every vehicle on our lot. Smashing and flashing prices that make us cry, but will make you want to buy.
New and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs,
Just like you see on TV.
Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, all on our lot. So come on over and save on us.
Save today. The Subaru way.
Suitable Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Poto.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Did Cupid shoot you with a crossbow of drama instead of an arrow of true love? Don't let that little cherub ruin the rest of your life. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to stop the bleeding. Schedule a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
One of my favorite radio announcers is retiring. We've had him on the show before. Bill Hillgrove, been the Steelers radio broadcaster. I think it's been 30, 31, or 32 years. He's one of the reasons that I love doing radio. So it's he's not fully retiring. Matt, imagine this kind of schedule. I guess I don't know if there's anybody that still does this. Dan Horde still does this. He does Cincinnati Bearcats football and basketball and Bengals football. Gene Deckerhoff used to do Florida State and the Bucs. He doesn't do Florida State anymore. But Hillgrove did the Steelers and Pitt basketball and football. I think he's still holding on to the Pitt gig. He's done that for over 50 years. That's quite a weekend, right?
That's a shift right there.
Dude, you can imagine what November's like for people like that, or December if you're in a bowl game. You know, your weekend can consist of, you got to have somebody fill in for a game here and there, but you're doing major college basketball. You're doing major college football. Pitt isn't what it used to be and won't ever be again. And then Steelers football. Can you imagine the hangover you're feeling on a Monday?
That's a pretty good gig, though. I mean, especially if you like ball, and you get to be around it. It helps when you get to see good ball. If I mean, you're being descriptive and you're telling the people what you see.
Oh, what else? Richard Lewis died yesterday. That kind of hit. I didn't realize he was 75. Love Curb. And I remember, Curb's great, but I remember Richard Lewis from the 80s. Did I watch any episodes of that Anything But Love sitcom he did with Jamie Lee Curtis? But I also remember this was the era of boxy suits, and nobody could wear a boxy suit just like Richard Lewis did. And he had that mane of hair and everything. And of course, he always thought he was sick.
That like a Talking Heads music video, like he was an extra.
Yeah.
In that. Yeah.
And it was not quite that boxy, but pretty darn close
Cheap
to
Trick
it.
or something. Or Arsenio Hall kind of had it going for a little bit too. Yeah. No, he's a legend.
That era.
He was. There was. I love this NBA clip I saw because everybody's been seeing clips and stuff of him, but he was definitely funny.
Well, the situations that he and Larry would get himself into on Curb, like every single relationship, Larry could find a way to ruin it for him.
He goes, "I'm gonna put you in my will." Larry's like, "No, don't do that. Don't. No." He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna put you in my will. We've been friends. I just want to show you how much I mean for you." Larry's like, "No. I'm not going to it. Don't do that."
They're so preoccupied with death. I watched the episode last night of Albert Brooks had the funeral for himself while he's still alive, so he can see and hear what everybody's saying about him. Of course, Larry doesn't go in on that. He's telling him how, I got roped into doing this. Basically, just making a mockery of it.
There's a Robert Duvall movie, and it's got the little kid from Sling Blade, that's the little boy in it. It's called Get Low. It's got Bill Murray in it as well, and but that's what the concept is about the guy that he's going to go see his funeral, and not in a ghost, a girlfriend's past type way, in a real he's still alive type way.
Thing is, you want to hear what everybody's saying about you up in front of everybody. The eulogies, post-game eulogies. You might not want to hear what they're saying in private, in the corner, when nobody else can hear. An honest moment like that. Here. 877-377-6963, the McClarty Daniel hotline. Great deals at any of the 6 locations in Springdale or Bentonville at McClarty Daniel, and always online at McClartyDaniel.com. We'll have Bob Holt coming up in about 20 minutes. He was in on Muss's presser, which was about 25 minutes ago. So stay with us.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Matching down payments up to $2,500 on the biggest used car selection in the River Valley. It's at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal. Troy, you got nearly 200 on the lot right now.
Yes, Tommy, I'm excited. Me and you've been doing this for a long time, since opening day of Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. And, we've never had the inventory that we have right now. So we've got what you're looking for. We've got the selection: car, truck, van, SUV, Super Duty, transit vehicle. We've got them in stock. They are all priced to move. We went through and repriced every single one of our pre-owned inventory. And hey, the special we got right now, we're matching your down payment up to $2,500. It's time to buy.
And with matching down payments, you don't have to take your tax refund and spend it all in a car. The matching down payments let you have a little left over for yourself.
Yes, and even if it's just $1,000, it turns to $2,000. If it's $2,000, it turns to $4,000. So come down here and see us, Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. Let us get you hooked up, get you a good deal, get you rolling the HR way.
All right, Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Subiaco and Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco and Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly cloudy sky in place with a chance of some rain. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the lower 50s. Rain showers, a little bit of snow possible across the north overnight, will drop down into the low to mid 30s. Sunshine returning on Friday, our high upper 50s to near 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
If I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My hot dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
But they but one Razorback.
Second half, very happy.
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into the second hour of halftime. Phil Elson here. Matt Jones, the C Unit, is with us producing. Got an open segment, McClarty Daniel hotline open before we talk to Bob Holt in just a bit. 877-377-6963. We did too much complaining last hour. We didn't really do too much complaining last hour. I'd rather talk about something that's more on the positive end.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I think I'm done talking Arkansas basketball for a while. There's nothing to talk. Mama told me. She said, if you can't say anything nice, what are we talking about?
You got to bring it up sometime.
Well, we brought it up. We understand what's going on. This team's not very good. Yeah.
So we'll move on to something else, right?
We have to move on. Yeah.
Baseball. You know what I'm really excited about this weekend? I can't wait to watch Hagen Smith pitch tomorrow to see what happens after last Friday's historic performance. He is everybody's player of the week. The Golden Spikes committee. He is the Golden Spikes player of the week. How couldn't he be? Dude right now is I mean, it's incredible to think about going from 2 Fridays ago to last Friday, and is it somewhere in the middle against Murray State? This is a lineup that can hit. It's not Oregon State. That's the thing that's amazing about it. That Oregon State team, he's the only pitcher that's done anything to even remotely slow down the Beavers lineup in the first 2.5 weeks of the season. Murray State's a good lineup. I can't wait to see what he does in front of what I expect to be a big crowd tomorrow at 3 with good weather, doing it in his home ballpark, and a chance to get out on that mound and do what he does best, which is wow us right now. At least last week, that's what he did.
Yeah, it's another opportunity to go out there and compete, and it does make it that more amazing, Phil, when as a pitcher, one mistake, if you're not focused on one pitch, one bad slip up, I mean, these guys are good. They can put bat on ball. And what do you think? What's and I know, I mean, pitchers don't you don't play for individual awards, but what do you think? What do you think his average per 6 innings, or I don't know how it goes down, because I don't know that you average these pitchers by 9 innings anymore. They usually pitch 5 or 6 innings, but per outing, what do you think he can get strikeouts wise? Like when you talk about a good point guard, like when I look at Ziegler, it's like, man, he's going to have 5 or 6 assists every game. Anthony Black last year, you're thinking, what's he going to do? Do you see this kid where he could go out there? Is he a strikeout pitcher? Could he be a guy that's like we talk about a guy being a walking double-double when Mekhi Mitchell was doing his thing? Could he be a guy that gets 10 strikeouts a game?
Walking double strikeout total?
10 Ks a game. Is that something that's obtainable, or is that just me just kind of throwing out a video, kind of like arcade game numbers?
No, that's exactly what he can do. We still do the per 9 innings thing.
Okay.
Just because that's the length of a baseball game. So let me give you for his career, and this counts the bad starts. It counts last week, 218 strikeouts, 156 career innings. Matt, he's striking out 12.6 batters per 9 innings.
He's there. He's averaging it right now.
That is ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
That's amazing. Let me do it in a different way. Just by the amount of batters he's faced in his career, 685 of them. He is striking out about a third of the batters he's faced in his college career. Okay? Nobody does that. Nobody. I think. Now, I'm saying this without really knowing the state of prospects in high school and who might be, the guy everybody's drooling over in Major League Baseball coming out of high school. There's nobody in college that has what teams are looking for like Hagen has. Left-handed, athletic, flamethrower, pitched in pressure cooker moments, been there. Like, the draft is July. Matt, right now, he's very well the 1-1 pick.
Top 10 pick.
1-1.
Yeah.
Very well might be the number 1.
Passive physical, stays healthy, all those things. He's a guy that, so I'll tell this story. I went to Denver to see a Rockies game. This is a decade ago. And get there, you're there for about 3 or 4 days, whatever, and so I'm checking out what's going on, and I see Zach Greinke and the Dodgers are playing the Rockies. I'm like, I'm gonna go watch this play. I'm gonna go watch it. But the tickets were cheaper. They weren't that bad. So I get to the game. We watch the game. It's pretty cool. Clayton Kershaw's pitching tomorrow. I was like, well, I got to come back to watch Clayton Kershaw pitch.
Yeah.
The ticket price was 3 times as much. So that's what you're saying. Hagen Smith, when you're going to go watch him play, the ticket price is 3 times as much to go. That's how good he is.
I didn't think of it that way.
Oh, it's to see Kershaw. Yeah, it was $37 to watch Greinke play and $140 to watch Kershaw.
It's like watch what happens anytime the Yankees go to town, like in Kansas City. Yeah, because they're going to get snapped up by a lot of Yankee fans.
LeBron James goes to Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
I mean, remember we mentioned the surge pricing that Wendy's said, no, we're not going to do that. They do surge pricing in baseball games, and I don't know if you do it for football games, but there's different tiered prices for the opponent. Red Sox coming to town, it's not like they've been any good recently. Yankees coming to town, Dodgers coming to town, in some cases the Cardinals, just because of the amount of people that are interested in them. The prices are higher for those games. Yes, Hagen Smith would be like that. Here's the thing, though, and what he did differently last week is he finished batters off when he got ahead of them. That's the thing that's so amazing, is that the 17 strikeouts in 6 innings is ridiculous. How about 78 pitches in 6 innings? That's incredible. Just independent of the strikeouts.
That's what do they call a Maddox, a complete game under 100 pitches? He could do that.
Well, he would have if he would have got. I mean, he didn't. It's not that
close.
He needed the chance to. The coaches were right not let him go out there, and he knew that too.
So when you had a game like that, and I know you say you keep building, what is his pitch count going to be then? Is it over? It's not over 80, is it?
I think by now you're up to 85, maybe 85 to 90.
Does it matter? I know you brought this up, talking about stressful pitches. Does it matter? Do you weight those a little more when, hey man, there's been nobody on base the first 3 innings, you're kind of dealing, and instead of maybe you have a longer inning having to pitch from the stretch.
That's true. And sometimes it's either the stressful pitches are the result of stressful innings, of maybe throwing 28 to 30 pitches in an inning, or like he did that first start, 42 pitches in that first inning. That is the definition of of a high blood pressure, stressful inning with a lot of stressful pitches.
How important is it? Let's say you have a long inning as a pitcher, but and I'm trying to correlate this to football, where an offense goes out there and goes 3 and out. They put their defense back on the field. The defense, the other offense goes out there for a 10, 11 play drive, and you get the ball back as an offense. You know you got to get a first down. You got to at least maintain but you can't put your defense back on the field. Is there a little bit of that in baseball when you get up there? It's like we need to get some hits. We need to give our pitcher a little break, a little rest.
Yeah, the term is a shutdown inning. You score in the top of the inning or the bottom of the inning. The next half inning, your pitcher shuts them down, no runs. You've done you've done your job.
Mm-hmm.
Now there'd be a difference between all right, leaving men on base. Inning takes 10 minutes. Nobody scores. If you go out, put up a 3 spot, and then Hagan goes out and sets him down in order, and the opposing pitcher that just had to work through a stressful inning has to come back out again quicker, absolutely. That's exactly the way that a pitcher can help his batters. Get them off the field, get them in the dugout, get them at the plate, get that other pitcher on the mound, and get him feeling that stress again. Speaking of stress, Eduardo in Clarksville is here. It's about the most stressful moment of the show. Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. And what do we need after our football and basketball season? Well, you just seen it on display down in Texas last weekend. Let me say this. I've been aboard the baseball Hall train for decades, and this may be from top to bottom the best pitching stat. That's one of the better pitching performance I ever witnessed by a pitcher suited up in red and white for the U of A. What a job by Hagan Smith. Hats off. Blow the whistle there, gentlemen. Because you know what it takes to get to Omaha? Well, you better have good pitching. And, that was just stellar. What a stellar performance, gentlemen.
Absolutely, Eduardo. It was stellar to the point of being interstellar. And sometimes we'll talk about if you have a good bullpen, you got a really good closer, you can shorten the game from 9 innings to 7 innings or 8 innings because that 9th inning, you have no chance. What about the idea of that being in reverse? Because Arkansas seems to have 3 starting pitchers that just about any other staff in the SEC or the country would be pitching on a Friday. Brady Tigert would be a Friday pitcher for a lot of teams. Mason Molina was a Friday pitcher last year. Heck, Brady started opening day last year for Arkansas. That was a Friday. You have 3 Friday night starters. It's almost like you can shorten the game in reverse, that they can be so good. Now, are they going to go out and all throw scoreless appearances like last weekend? It's tough to do that back-to-back weeks, even though the opponent might not be quite as good as last week. But this is why they can win almost any game they play. You can also win by getting your sales tax paid in full on all remaining new 2023 models in stock at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. That's right. But the selection is limited to just the remaining new 2023 models. So you got to get over there right now, because these savings aren't going to be lasting for very much longer. Sales tax paid in full, new 23 models at Crabtree RV Center, crabtreerv.com. Bob Holt in just a moment.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on, skied in the left. That ball's hit pretty well. It is good.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappy.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world.
When you get a chance to, well, you got to work, right? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's I'll get lunch in there too. Don't worry about that.
Any good sports writer is always going to find a way to eat lunch. That's for sure. How was the presser? How did Muss seem in preparation for Kentucky?
Well, I thought it went well. He got asked several questions from different guys about Trevin Brazile because this is going to be Trevin's third game back. After he missed, I think it was 7 with a knee soreness, and he showed some good signs. I mean, obviously, that Vanderbilt loss was brutal, but if you're trying to find positives, Trevin did play 17 minutes. He fouled out, which was a little odd that he'd only play 17 minutes, but he had 7 points. He had a big 3 at the end that at least gave him a shot to try to send it to overtime late. He had 6 rebounds. I mean, you think about 6 rebounds in 17 minutes, that's pretty impressive. So you feel like, he probably has gotten most, if not all, the rust knocked off, so he could play a bigger role in this game. He talked about, I asked him about being 2-0 in Rupp Arena, which I need to research it, but I can't believe too many visiting coaches have won their first 2 games at Rupp, maybe more than I realized. But he thought about, hey, it's different season, different teams, and that's not going to impact this game. And he's probably right, but still, it's just like Vanderbilt had beaten Arkansas 2 in a row, and now they've won 3 in a row. So I think sometimes if you have done well against a team in the past, that can bring some good vibes. Devo Davis played both those wins at Rupp, so I talked a little bit about that. Just how talented Kentucky is. They probably are going to have as many, if not more, first-round draft picks than any college team with just all the firepower they have. So, I think he was, it wasn't woe is me, and he's obviously tried to be positive. He did talk about those teams that went into Rupp and won in the past. They played gritty and they had a belief, and that's what this team's going to need to have a shot to win on Saturday.
Yeah, Bob, it's not good when Vandy comes in here and whoops you like that. When you look at this Razorback basketball team, where are we lacking? I know we need a point guard, but what do you think if you could do one thing for next year's model? What does this basketball team need now? When you're this bad, you probably need a couple things, but what do you think is one thing this team needs for next year?
Well, I guess, and this is something you can have consistently if you're doing it well, is they've got to play better defense. That was really Eddie Sutton's philosophy. That was Nolan Richardson's philosophy. I think that's Eric Musselman's philosophy. You can have nights where your shot's not falling. You obviously can have injuries and different things. You have guys getting foul trouble, but if you play good defense, that's something you can carry on from game to game. And really, even though Arkansas had a 1-for-17 stretch to end the first half and then missed their next two shots to start the second half, so that's 1-for-19, they still scored 82 points. So they didn't lose because of their offense. They lost because they gave up 85 points to a team that came in averaging 66 and that shot 39% on the season, but shot almost 52%. That was the first time Vandy shot 50% or better all year. They didn't do that against Alabama A&M. They did that against Dartmouth and those Union players or whatever Dartmouth's doing there. That was their best shooting game of the season, and it came at Arkansas's expense. And if they had been able to, defend better, stop the dribble drives, and not let Vanderbilt outscore them, I think, 42-26 on paint points, they would have won that game. So I think, and like you said, there's a myriad of problems that they have to address in rebuilding this roster for next season or revamping it or whatever. But I think getting back to the kind of defense that Eric Musselman's teams played his first 4 seasons here, and they played at Nevada, that's to me at the top of the list. But that's at the top of the to-do list.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. If you're not going to play defense, you're not going to win. I'd like to see him get back to getting some more SEC caliber athletes. Did anybody ask him what was up on the block out on the last play where we had Davenport blocking out their big? Why when we have Mitchell? Did anybody ask that?
He didn't get asked that specific question. He got asked about that play and the impact. Jerry Stackhouse on his postgame radio show, so that was the play of the game, and I would agree. And Eric said he just basically, Lubin made a great play, knifed in between Davenport and L. Ellis. And I'm trying to remember the configuration on the line. I was kind of crazy there at the end. I'd have to watch a replay, I guess. But basically, yeah, he just knifed in there. And Davenport's been a pretty good rebounder for his size. And he's 6'6", Lubin's 6'8", it's not like he's 7'2". So they just didn't get a good block out there. And then Eric did say he had watched that play right before he came in to talk to us the other night, and that he didn't see a foul. That's paraphrasing. He doesn't want to get fined. I think we've all established that. So I don't think he was necessarily being critical of the officiating, but he said he basically, implied he didn't see a foul. And watching the replay, I don't think I saw a foul there either. And that turned out to be a really big and one, because then when Battle hits that crazy three that hits through and bounces about 10 feet in the air and goes in, that would have tied the game at 82 instead, just made it 83-82. So, but rebounding, that's another thing they got to get fixed in the offseason. That's just a killer when you foul a guy, a pretty good free throw shooter in Lawrence. He misses them both, and then not only do they get the rebound, they get a stick back and an and one. That was just a brutal play. That was just, that kind of summed up the night for the Hogs.
Bob, we get prisoners of where you finish in a season. So from Sweet 16 last year, but last year they weren't playing very well in the final stretch of the season. 8-10 SEC record, and it's wild to think about it. Like, if Arkansas finds a way to win the next 3, which probably don't happen, they would finish with the same amount of SEC wins as last year. Like, even with one more victory, LSU, and I think that's probably the best chance, 2 fewer wins in this league than a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year. And which team was much more talented, right? I mean, we already can tell that. You got 4 guys from last year's team in the NBA. That's one thing that's a little difficult to jibe with.
Yeah, one thing about last year, they lost a lot of close games. I have to add it back up, but it was a crazy amount of games where they had a lead and seemingly were in control and blew leads. And that's something they fixed in the NCAA tournament. They held on against Illinois after building a good lead, and they actually rallied, I think, from 12 down to beat Kansas. And then UConn, that was just, UConn was playing great, and they blew everybody out pretty much in the NCAA tournament. So I give Arkansas credit for even getting a shot to play UConn there in Las Vegas. But last year they were losing a lot of close games, and this year they've had some close losses, obviously, like the other night, but they've had a lot more of those blowout losses. And then also, last year Missouri won 25 games. This year they lost 15 in a row. So I don't think necessarily all SEC schedules are created equal. You have to obviously have to play everybody, but sometimes you play certain teams twice. Like last year, they had to play Auburn and Tennessee on the road. They had to play a good Missouri team twice. They played Kentucky twice. A&M was an NCAA tournament team last year. Maybe they will be, but they're obviously struggling. So I think the schedule this year has been a little, not easy, but a little easier. And also they've had some, lost by 32 and 29 and 26 and whatever, I lose count. But they've had a lot of blowout losses. But you're right, it is amazing if they could beat LSU, that they'd have just one fewer SEC win than last year, when obviously this team is nowhere near as talented.
Yeah, I don't know. A&M, I got them on the outside on the NCAA tournament, Bob. You get Arkansas, Kentucky Saturday, but the big one that could decide it all, Alabama, Tennessee, and you even said it, the schedules they're not all created equal. Tennessee having to go to Alabama, and both teams are tied right now. Who do you got? Who do you got winning the SEC title?
Well, earlier I talked about this on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I picked South Carolina because they were playing so well. And I didn't imagine they'd lose at home to LSU, I guess, and some other losses. But right now, I got to like Tennessee. I mean, I watched them last night. That was a high-level game against Auburn. That was a really enjoyable game if people didn't get to see it. It really had, to me, I know it's 2 SEC teams. It had like a Sweet 16 feel to it, and Dalton Connect just kind of took over there at the end. But Auburn played really, really well. That's a game. Maybe they win that game at Auburn. But right now I got to feel like Tennessee's playing the best. They just have, they added a great player in Connect. I don't think anybody could have imagined. Obviously, Tennessee thought he'd be good, or else they wouldn't have brought him in, but I don't think anybody could have imagined. He's probably going to be the SEC Player of the Year, be an All-American. And then they have a bunch of older, players like, James and Vescovi and Ziegler, and so I really like Tennessee, just their makeup and their toughness and their experience, and then obviously their talent.
Hey, Bob, last thing, I know you got a piece in the Democrat today about Arkansas's track teams and the number of athletes they'll have in the NCAA, and see that starts in about a week. Where sweeping the SEC indoor titles, and that's incredible. Where does Arkansas sit as far as nationally and chances to win indoor titles nationally?
Well, I mean, you can't really predict a sweep, or you can, but that's tough. But I think they're both going to be challenging for national titles. The women's team is ranked number 1. This is a coaches poll, and they kind of base it on rankings and points. But, amazingly, Arkansas has got the top 4 times. Now, of course, you still got to do it on the track there in Boston, but they have the top 4 ladies in the 400 meters. The number 4 times, they got them all. And that obviously translates to a top relay. And they've got 3 of those ladies who are running in the 400 are qualified in the 200. There's only 16 indoors. It's a very tight field. So you got to be in the top 16 to make the indoor fields. And they've got, some other great athletes, number 3 high jumper, and then the men are ranked number 2 behind Texas Tech. And they've got 2 number 1 guys, Jerome Romaine Beckford. Jerome Romaine's a guy I covered a long time ago. I'm getting old. I mean, Beckford's the top high jumper and Wayne Pennick's the top long jumper. He was a silver medalist at the World Championships. And they have a lot of firepower, too. They got a new guy, Peter Maru, added him at a freshman from Uganda, added him at semester, and he's set meet records at the SEC in the 5K and the 3K. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility they could sweep. Those certainly both should challenge. A lot of things can happen at an indoor meet. It can be kind of crazy. But, yeah, Arkansas, both teams should be right there to have a shot to win national titles again.
Well, good luck to them. I know that's about a week. Bob, appreciate you, man. We'll revisit again on Thursday next week.
Okay, sounds good. You guys take care.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob Holt in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. We always appreciate him joining us Thursdays on Halftime. Hey, when you're looking for your next side-by-side, motorcycle, ATV, or zero-turn mower, don't look any further than your local Wood Power Sports store. They got convenient locations in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville, and over 9 brands to choose from, including Can-Am, Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, CF Moto, Suzuki, KTM, Hustler, and Honda. If you can think of it, they probably have it at Wood Power Sports. 3 convenient locations, also providing you with outstanding service and parts capabilities. They even offer deliveries. You want to learn more? Go online to woodpowersports.com. Location and brand or shop of all of them. We look forward to earning your business at Wood Power Sports. Stay tuned. Halftime back in a moment.
Red River is the #1 Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep store in the state. You know why?
That's right, because we have the biggest discounts and the friendliest staff you'll ever meet.
And nobody will have more inventory than we do. And this month, we've also got 0% financing. If you're looking for a Ram 1500 Bighorn, you're not going to find a better deal. And we're going to give you 0% for 72 months. For your new Ram, visit us at redriverram.com during Ram Truck Month.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Halftime.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500s. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
If you've lived in the River Valley for a while, you know about the great reputation of Jam Mart. And their newest location at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith is open. Stop by for coffee, gas, beer, snacks, ices, and a clean restroom every time. Don't forget about the hot deli and fresh-made burgers. Now 7 locations in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Boonville, Ozark, and Danville. Sign up for their loyalty program for discounts throughout the stores. Jam Mart, the leading convenience store and gas station in the region.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PBS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
I wouldn't try to throw myself away if you ask me. I say, be careful, my love. I can't believe the same. If you want me, say, don't for it. We can't change the things we can't control. The summer's somewhere, so you shouldn't be so cold. You can't even look me in the eye if you try. We can try. See us dancing.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Our sextile day here today. That's
his and hers,
or anything that has to do with 29th. But I do like your definition of sextile. That one belongs in Urban Dictionary. I'm going to look that one up on Urban Dictionary. Leap year, favorite sports leaps.
You go Razorbacks on him and go Mike Conley. If he's an Olympic guy, but he's some say the best athlete to ever grace the Arkansas up there. Like he was that type of athletic. And there was a dunk contest he did with Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, and it was a no-brainer who was going to win that dunk contest. When you watch him, could just absolute jump. But I'm going to go with one of my old teammates who was an All-American triple leaper. He was a receiver. Richard Smith from Shreveport, Louisiana, came up and played receiver for 4 years for the Razorbacks, but he was an All-American triple long jumper for the trap team.
That's a triple leap.
That's pretty cool.
It means we need a March 32nd and an April 31st. Is April 30 or 31?
What about MJ from the foul line? That's
Well,
gotta be on there, huh?
Now that's the direction I'm going in here. How about Dr. J? How about Dr. J with that famous one-handed fake layup, scoop reverse layup? I think that's a famous sports leap.
Walter Payton going over the top of the pile.
John Elway helicoptering at the goal line.
Yeah, there you go.
Ken Griffey Jr. robbing, take your pick. Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds at the All-Star game, and then Barry carrying him off the field.
Vince Carter welcoming the 7'6" guy to the Olympic tryouts. Whenever, no, I think that was a pool play game, whatever. But yeah, that's considered the best dunk of all of in game play, because it's not an NBA game, but that's the best dunk I think people have ever seen.
Was that the one where he really had to kind of double check that the defender didn't have an allergy to tree nuts?
Right. It's like I got an EpiPen. I always carry one in my sock just in case.
Here's my favorite sports caller, Brian in Ozark, here on Halftime. Brian, do you have a favorite sports leap, or are we talking something else?
We're talking something else.
Okay, go ahead. Take it away.
All right. So my question for you is, I was reading an article, on ESPN.com, and basically, they've done an analysis, or their analysis on the 14 SEC football teams and their predictions for this coming year, which unfortunately for Arkansas did not bode well. They have Arkansas going 4-8 again this year. which basically says that they have no respect for Arkansas football or Bobby Petrino at this point. My question would be, and I believe we would all agree that if Arkansas did go 4-8 again, that is in the end of Sam Pittman. So would you believe that Bobby Petrino, if that happened, Sam Pittman got fired, going 4-8 again, would you believe that Bobby Petrino would be the leading candidate to be the next coach or somebody else? I'll just hang up and listen to your comments.
Okay, very simple answer. No. If you're 4-8, the offense hasn't done very well. Why are you hiring an offensive coordinator where the offense has not performed? No. It's way too simplistic to think of it that way.
Yeah, and these preseason polls, they don't really it doesn't matter. South Carolina was picked last in SEC basketball this year. They're going to get a double bye. So let's wait till we get. I get it. It's something to talk about, and that's what we get to do. We get to talk about it. 4-8 won't be fun, but we don't even know who our quarterback is. We haven't even seen us play. Let's check us out first. Let's see us play spring ball. Let's see us play. I think that big game feel for the Razorback football team is going to be the second game of the season when they go to Stillwater.
That's huge.
That's the litmus test. That last year we should have known that second game of the year against a directional school and we couldn't run the ball, and then we were making excuses about it. Should have known. This baseball team, if they wouldn't have hit against Grambling, then that would be a red flag, right? This basketball team getting beat by a North Carolina colored directional school, maybe that's maybe getting beat. I mean, that's what happens. You get beat by Vanderbilt at home when you're not very good.
All agree with all of those things, no doubt. But you see the direction of the conversation. This is only 2 months after he was hired. A little more than 2 months, 3 months almost. This is not the first time this question's been asked. Like they had to have known. I mean, you're hiring him because he's a good offensive mind, but they had to have known that this would be a topic of conversation amongst people on the outside. Obviously, don't care about that very much. You don't hire somebody based upon what people are talking about on the outside. You get a little excitement by bringing Petrino in, but you also know full well that that's the direction the conversation's going to go. I think the answer is no. Sports leaps. D. Brown, Hidden Eyes, Superman dunk. That's one I always remember. Who was the guy that leapfrogged over
when he pumped up?
He did the Reeboks.
He does the pump.
Does Reebok even make the pump anymore?
They have to, right? They have. Bro, you have to.
This is like 30 years ago.
Well, Jaylen Brown did an homage to him, kind of like he tried to do a little thing. I remember doing that dunk, Phil, growing up, being in 7th grade, 8th grade, like going to the park or whatever, but doing the D Brown, like, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I got a pair of Reebok pumps because of that dunk. And I wasn't the only one. Might be one of the greatest advertisements for a sneaker in the history of sneakers.
Hey, they were trying to compete with the Nike Air Jordan, and was like, "Here we got our CO2.
Here we got a button here, man.
Yeah.
Look, you can actually control the amount of air that goes in these suckers.
You can shoot free throws like Shaq.
Works for you if you're drowning. You can just sort of like pop it open. Who realized that? Same as like Bond. He could always suck air out of a tire. That always worked.
Your boy, that was your boy Nate Robinson, who leaped over Dwight Howard in the dunk contest.
Nate Robinson. How tall was he? He's less than 6. Was he?
He was a corner.
Footer?
He was no. He was not.
So.
But he was a cornerback on the football team. He was a two-way guy up there in Spokane, up there in Washington. So he was an athlete, man. Just absolutely. I think he's prayers for him. I think he's on dialysis or something.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah, kidney stuff. So hopefully he'll be all right.
Text out of the 479. This would be a leap that probably Razorback fans wouldn't want to remember, because this is the kind of the fulcrum where success started to turn to lack of success. KJ leaping at the 5 against A&M, ball popping out, 98-yard return the other way. That's also a sports leap.
Man, that was what about the Wizard of Oz coming out in the 7th inning stretch doing his flip?
That's the greatest.
That's pretty cool.
I loved watching Ozzy do that.
Yeah. You just wait until the 7th inning. You're not going up to get Cracker Jacks that game. You're going to see that go on.
Great sports leaps on leap year. You can only have this conversation once every 4 years. Matt Jones dunk on the goalpost. There's one from the 479, one of a couple people that has brought that one up. Yeah, that one sticks as well with Razorback fans. No doubt about that. Spring, you see the media day schedule's been released. Speaking of college football, speaking of Razorback football, media days are in Dallas this year at the Omni Hotel downtown. Got to make Texas feel good about things, I guess. And Oklahoma, I guess it's close enough to them. Coach Pittman, he doesn't speak until the last day. They're not doing this alphabetically this year. Not doing it alphabetically at all. Sam Pittman speaking the last day of media days, Thursday, July 18th, as the first speaker. Hugh Freeze, Mark Stoops, Mike Elko after that. Stoops, then Elko, huh? You think they got them there on purpose? You think they know what they're doing right there? You get Hugh Freeze, who's kind of slapped Pittman around the last 2 years, but being at Liberty and Auburn. And then you get the Elko Stoops going on. Yeah, that's nice. How about the day before that? You get three coaches who are feeling really good about their job prospects right now. DeBoer, Lebby at Mississippi State, and Sark, and Billy Napier's the fourth. Man, Florida, have you seen their schedule? You talk about a 4-8. My question, okay, we beat Florida last year. Who wins more games this year, Florida or Arkansas? Well, let's look at the schedule. Because I'll tell you, the Florida Gators schedule, and if they don't have we're just going by brand name and logos right now, okay? That's and knowing what happened last year. That's it. So they lose to Miami to open the season. It's in Gainesville. They'll beat Samford. A&M at Mississippi State. They probably can beat Mississippi State. UCF at Tennessee. That's KJ. That's right. That's KJ. Ooh. They could be 2-4 going into that Tennessee game. Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State. They're gonna end on a 5-game losing streak. They better be 2-4. I mean, Kentucky's had their number recently too. They could end on a 7-game losing streak. They could lose 8 in a row if KJ plays well enough against them. Oh, I got UCF. I got UCF and KJ over the Florida Gators. That's a wild schedule. They have Georgia and Texas back to back, and then you host LSU and Florida State. Ugh. The funny aspect about it, on the Florida football schedule page on their website, Florida State's not their last game. They got the SEC championship listed on their schedule page. They've got plans. Smart. They have big plans in Florida for next year. Oh, I'll bet you. If I go look at the Arkansas football schedule, do you think they have the SEC championship game on that schedule, on the page? Well, they don't. We can start 1-1. Who's our third game? UAB. Okay, so we're 2-1. Let's just go through the schedule real quick before we break. 2-1. UAPB, at Oklahoma State, Alabama, Birmingham, at Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, LSU, those 2 games at home, Mississippi State in Starkville, Ole Miss, and a week off, Texas, La Tech, at Mizzou. I like our schedule. It could be worse. I was going to say I like our schedule better than Florida's schedule. I like our schedule a lot better than Florida's schedule. I think we can work with that. A little realism that the SEC championship game is not on the schedule page either. You do put the tournament pages on there. There's the meat part of the sandwich of this Arkansas schedule. Man, you're going to have to be ready. There's about a 5-game stretch in there, Phil. It's going to make or break you. What about the mayo and the cheese and the lettuce and the tomato?
Is it a good thing they don't play Alabama next year with all the stuff going on? I mean, we don't know. I mean,
you would think this would be the chance.
Who'd we pick up instead of Alabama? Texas? Is that who got traded with?
Pretty
us?
Much. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We get A&M in Texas though. Maybe we can run the state of Texas. If we could win only 2 games, maybe it can be those 2.
I would celebrate those 2 wins like they were the last 2 wins of my life. We'll wrap up hour number 2 of halftime in just a moment.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. you can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Roses are red, violets are blue. If I had your bank account, I'd worry about alimony too. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call today for a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Like a foolish, for the foolish things I do. You may wonder how come I love you when you get on my nerves like you do. Well, baby, you know you love me. Ain't no secret like that. Come on over here and love me. Baby, I'll spill it fast. With honey, it ain't your money. 'Cause baby, I got plenty of that. I like it for your back Cadillac. Rose-colored seats, riding in the back. Cruising down the street, waving to the girls. Feeling outside, spending all my money on my Saturday night. Honey, I just wonder what you do there in the back of your Cadillac.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Here's one of my favorite sports leaps, guys. Otis Nixon, center fielder for the Braves in the early 90s, made a home run saving catch by sticking his cleat in the outfield fence. It was padded, and that gave him the ability to kind of push up a little bit more. And then when he lands, you can see the big tear in the outfield fence. That's one of my favorites. Although he robbed a pirate, so I don't know if I should say it's a favorite.
One of my favorite leaps is Jose Canseco using his noggin. He took off. He definitely leaped, and it kind of bounced the other way.
Jeremy in Tulsa's on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Jeremy. What's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Great, thank you.
Good. Haven't talked to you in a while, but still, it's baseball season. Enjoyed your calls this past weekend. Love listening to you. I like to turn the game on mute and watch the game and hear you call the game. So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I'm putting it on record. I typically don't do this. I think I tend to be a little more pessimistic, just because I feel like Arkansas's cursed sometimes. But I think we're going to win the national championship this year. It's a bold take. 64 was football. 30 years later, 94 it was basketball. 30 years later in 2024, it's going to be baseball.
I've seen people lay this out. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, and you look at it, and assuming we can stay healthy, especially from the pitching rotation, you have 3 Friday night guys starting as Hagen Smith, backed by Brady Tigert, backed by Mason Molina. Oh, and by the way, Will McIntyre, who's started a College World Series game and beat Auburn, he's part of the rotation. You have Cody Frank, guys coming in the bullpen to close. Gage Wood, I hope, takes the next step as a sophomore. We're so deep in the field. I think that our hitting's obviously going to be picking up. I think it's more of timely hitting, guys on second and third with one out, being able to score some runs there. I think we're going to figure it out this year. I don't know why. I can't give you any logic to that reason. But
well, the 40-year difference works for me. That's fine.
Yeah, and I picked up on something in one of Dave Van Horn's press conferences. I think it was after the draft in like July. He had mentioned wanting to get a championship in the next year or two, and kind of smirked about it. I don't know why I picked up on that, because I think it's typically coaches don't say or give like specific timelines on winning to win national championships. But I think he can sense it. We're due. I think Hog Nation can sense it. We have a great roster littered with talent. And I just put it on record. I'll keep calling into the show over the next couple of months and see how accurate it is. Hopefully in June I'm calling back and we're looking at this conversation and we're having a good time together. But fellas, it was good to talk to you. I'll continue to listen to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that. Great optimism. I think they'll have a chance. This is the team has a chance to win a national title. Look, if you're worried about the hitting, these hitters hit these pitchers in the fall and in January. So I think if you can hit this pitching staff, you can hit anybody in college baseball. It's mindset, it's plan, sticking to the plan. I expect you're going to see a really massive improvement from last weekend offensively to this weekend, so on and so forth. Lots of wins are in the future. Also, the third hour of halftime's in the future. You can call or text at 877-377-6963 on the McClarty Daniel hotline and stay with us.
1.9% financing for up to 72 months on America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150 at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. All of that, and then pair it with matching down payments. It's the time to buy a new truck.
Yes, it definitely is. Everybody's saying don't buy. Interest rates are too high. That is just not the case at Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. Get your rebates, get your discounts. Let us match your down payment up to $2,500, and let us get you rolling in a new F-150 at 72 months at 1.9% financing.
We're talking about saving thousands of dollars over what the bank can loan you money for or anyone else at 1.9%.
Yes, and all these other brands out there advertising 72 months at 3.9, 4.9. Hey, you got the #1 selling truck at 72 months at 1.9% financing.
Plus, get more for your trade, and Harry Robinson never, ever charges over sticker price.
Negative. Come down here. This is where you want to buy your new Ford.
Harry Robinson Sallisaw Ford. Matching down payments up to $2,500, 1.9% financing up to 72 months, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a partly to mostly cloudy sky in place with a chance of some rain. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the lower 50s. Rain showers, a little bit of snow possible across the north overnight. Will drop down into the low to mid 30s. Sunshine returning on Friday, our high upper 50s to near 60. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Well, this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
But they were one Razorback.
Second half, very happy.
And vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field out.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime. It is hour number 3, and we will have Brett Dolan coming up in about 15 minutes. Get into Arkansas baseball. Weekend coming up against Murray State. Got a women's basketball game tonight. The number 1 team in the country is in town tonight to battle against the Mike Neighbors club, and they are beating teams by, they're 27-0. They're beating teams by an average of 33 points. 6 of these 27 games, that's all. Only 6 of them have entered the fourth quarter with the game within 10 points. And this, hey, just like I always appreciate watching greatness when I get a chance to watch greatness. And there is no more, I think, successful, consistent program in this conference for any sport, like over the last 10 years, than South Carolina women's basketball. I think it's 4 Final Fours, 2 national championships, and complete dominance in a lot of cases. Of course, last year LSU wins the national championship. But this, women's basketball needs to beat Ole Miss. You know, it would take a miracle for anybody right now to beat South Carolina as well as they're playing. Hogs have a chance to beat Ole Miss on the road, and that's their chance to get out of the first day of the SEC tournament. But number 1 coming into town, you want to feel really good about a chance to win. I think they'll go out, they'll play really hard. This team always plays really hard. I know they don't feel really good about how the last game went against Vanderbilt at Bud Walton Arena, but I feel like there's a reason why they did senior night with Vanderbilt instead of South Carolina coming in, because this is the last home game until, if you do host in whatever the postseason tournament that we'll play in, because they wanted to do it post game. They did it post game, but you expect you beat Vanderbilt. I just, what are the expectations for tonight? Look, you got to be realistic about things. South Carolina right now is just about as unbeatable as any team that I've seen in women's college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that comes to mind is you try to slow the game down as much as you can. You try to be as disciplined as you can, technical. You don't want to play out of control. You want to play within yourself. You want to go out there and compete. That being said, I have my pops being a coach, and he would say, if you go out there and you give it your best and the other team's better than you, then so be it.
Then that's fine.
But we got to go out there and we got to give it our best. We got to go out there and we got to try.
And I think they will. There's not been a moment where I felt like anybody on the court is quitting at all or not trying to play their absolute best. I mean, they're playing intensely. It's just,
don't try to play outside yourself is the thing, because when you don't have to do anything superhero. You just got to go out there and be yourself and try to play your game.
877-377-6963 on the McClarty Daniel hotline. That is an 8 o'clock tip-off. Arkansas versus South Carolina. Oh, big news coming out of Dodgerland. Shohei Ohtani announced that he is married now. That his new wife is from Japan. He has not even identified her. It's a mystery. Got a mystery spouse there. And well, I mean, I guess she's still in Tokyo, so she's not in, where do the Dodgers train? I think it's Camelback Ranch, somewhere in Arizona. He says he asked the media, this is so nice, because things must be a little bit different for professional athletes in Japan. Must be. Ohtani asked the media to refrain from, quote, conducting unauthorized interviews, unquote. Paparazzi, hello, this is the most famous athlete in that country.
No question.
Somebody out there in Japan is going to do what they can to go get Mrs. Ohtani and get her to talk. But congratulations, Shohei. Congratulations.
I was so we all know the A-Rod story where he got banned for, was it testosterone?
I don't remember exactly what he
But
took.
he had to miss a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of in the prime of his career. And
he lied about it on national television.
So there's a soccer player named Paul Pogba, and he's a Galactico. He's one of the best soccer players in the year. Just got suspended for testosterone for 4 years. So it's the same. We don't get but it's the same concept. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, best player there is, midfielder in the game. Just came down today. Now he'll try to appeal it, kind of like A-Rod did. And A-Rod was able to play a little bit more. So if he had to do this whole 4-game suspension, and we know sports is a young man's game, he'll be 34 when the ban's
the
lifted.
Europeans don't mess around.
They don't.
They
mess
don't. I
around.
mean, look, that's why you have you've got fences to keep fans in the stands, right?
They locked the gate. So I went to the Champions League final in Berlin. So we're in Germany watching Paul Pogba play for Juventus, and they were playing Barcelona. So you got an Italian club playing a Spanish club in Germany, and I speak English in these. But when you go in there, there's one way you can enter. They and then all the other gates are locked. Yeah, it's like and then you got to wait to. It's weird.
So what
it's
happens
weird over there.
We have fire laws in this country. They will not allow that. You are not allowed to do that.
They do their own rules over there.
I guess they do. But as far as, hey, if you think 1 year suspension obviously was never enough to convince a lot of professional athletes, baseball players in
90
this case.
games stuff is what it wasn't the first one. 90 games is if you get like Robinson Cano was a big one that was with the Yankees, signs this deal with Seattle, and then bam, gets never the same player. I think there was another kid at Milwaukee Brewers that was kind of the same way.
Ryan Braun.
Same kind of way. Stud, doesn't get to do that, then not the same player.
He was never the same after that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
A-Rod wasn't either. Gary in Bentonville is on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Gary. What's going on?
Hey, Phil, Matt. I have a lead for you, but you're going to have to help me with the name because I think you were on the call at the baseball field, but our left fielder jumped up on the rail, laid over, pulled the ball back out of the bullpen, and I am blank on his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't get it.
He climbed the fence?
But it was, he was on the middle rail, laid over the fence, pulled the ball back, and I am blank, and it was number one play on Sports Center. And I'm blank on it.
Now, I remember, so Heston Kjerstad made a catch like that, but I don't remember if he put his foot on the fence where there's that ledge.
No, it wasn't Kjerstad. I wanted to say his name started with the last name started with an S, but my computer is old now. It's just not pulling it up. And I thought maybe you were on the call.
Not ringing a bell. Look, I mean, it could have been Chuck. Look, I'll say this: my memory is not the best for some of the things that I see, and then you move on to the very next pitch and the next play, and I can't remember that one. I don't remember that one, but I'm sure there's been a catch that's been made like that. He said it was number one on ESPN Top 10. So if anybody remembers it, help jog my memory a little bit here. Crack me on the back of the neck. 877-377-6963. I was thinking about, and it wouldn't have been a leap because it wasn't a leap. It was a catch that Kjerstad made where he totally fooled. No, they thought that he made the catch, and then the batter ran past the runner. That's a different thing that I'm thinking of here. We were taking your favorite sports leaps because it is leap year. 4 years, though. I'm still stuck on that. That's
till it'll be a leap year. Till he gets to come back. Yeah, that's a leap. It's it's wild over there. Yeah, he's a stud, and over there it's when you play for Juventus, you play for Man United.
Is this the first time he's been caught?
That's a good question. That's a good question. But they don't play over there.
Well, it's, I guess, if the punishment looks draconian, maybe you would think you don't do something like that, but the punishment was draconian, and he still thought he could get away with it.
No, the very first ban is 4 years over there. That's 4 years are the standard for the World Anti-Doping Code, and it can be reduced if you can prove that it was not intentional. 4 years is the first. They do not play over there. Yeah.
This is going to have to find another way to make a living for 4 years.
He's made enough. He was that man. He was, over there they start when you're 12 making money and so 30, it's a young man's game, but he's he's A-Rod. He's where French, he won a World Cup for the French national. He's been in Champions League finals. He's a G.
Brett Dolan stops by in just a moment on halftime. Stay with us. I love baseball season. It's the best time of the year. Every Friday, we get to talk shop with one of my favorite former pitchers, James Teague.
12:15 on Friday is my favorite time of the week. I love joining you guys on halftime to talk about the baseball team and Teague Law Firm. You know what we always say, if we can't help you, we'll talk baseball.
Don't miss James Teague with the Teague Law Firm every Friday right here at 12:15 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The 1-2. He struck him out swinging.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 7.
$1,279.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PBS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Brett Dolan's with us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. We appreciate Brett's time each Thursday, and we never quite know where he's going to be. So, Brett, where are you? Court, field, airport, car? What's going on?
Well, yeah, the Brett Traveling Roadshow continues. Houston today, my daughter had a 10:30 a.m. game, and then there's a 2:30 game. So I ran to the border for a little lunch here before game 2, and then I hope to see her play tomorrow night, maybe one on Saturday around 5 College Classic broadcasts. So if I'm lucky, I can get 10 games in between the games I'm working and the games I can see her play.
Last time I saw her play, and I think this was just before opening day at Baum, right? Brett comes into the booth. He's got his iPad up, and he's watching his daughter's softball game. Her first at-bat, she comes up. She had a Hudson Polk moment, Brett. First swing, bomb, straightaway center field. It was a cool moment. We were all cheering.
Yeah, it was funny. Later on, I think it was at Bud Walton the other night, I'm walking by with an iPad, and everybody says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, stop. My daughter's playing." And I think Courtney Deifel's husband and father were walking by, and we stood there and watched her foul off about 8 pitches before she drew a walk. So I draw a few people into that every once in a while.
Brett, we're doing sports leaps today because it's the bisextile day of the year, February 29th, leap year. We haven't. I don't know if we've even said the Sidney Moncrief SI cover.
That's a good one.
That's probably the most famous leap in Razorback history. When you think of a sports leap, which one comes to mind for you?
As far as just going airborne, jumping?
Any kind of jump. People jump in sports all the time.
My goodness, that's a great question.
We'll give
Wasn't
you
it
some
the
examples.
Jordan dunk from the free throw line where he went up and kind of put it right off his shoulder and threw it down?
That's a good one.
Isn't
right
that
there.
where the Jumpman
That's a good
logo
one.
came from?
Oh, it might have. That's a great call.
So that might be the most famous sports leap then.
Would have to be. It's immortalized on freaking baseball uniforms now for Michigan and other teams, and all the Jumpman teams that are Nike schools.
Lynn Swan, with the Pittsburgh Steeler. Brent Jones, from Joe Montana.
Back of the end zone.
That's another leap right there. Yeah.
Oh, those are good ones. Oh, no, that's fun. I like this. Keep it going.
Well, we had it going for quite a while there. I also was talking. Here's one thing I hadn't brought up. And that's Dave Van Horn had an update on Peyton Stovall's broken foot, and you want him to get back as soon as possible, but they're taking his time. What was it? 4 to 6 weeks from a scrimmage on February 5th. So you're about almost 4 weeks into that. I mean, he might be able to start swinging pretty soon. So here's the question. Stovall comes back. He's your second baseman. Who gets bumped out of the lineup then? Jared Sprague-Lott, Peyton Holtz? Who gets bumped out?
Ooh, I hadn't thought of it that way. That's for a team that hasn't had a lot of big offensive moments in the first couple of weeks, with the exception of Grambling. Maybe that doesn't count. You could see where now all of a sudden you get a decision to make. I don't know. Dave said it best. He thought Sprague-Lott was a really good defender who might struggle a little bit to hit. Well, he's hit, and then he's had a few errors. I have a hard time taking Peyton Holt out on a regular basis, so I don't know if that means those guys might get each an opportunity for a weekend. One starts two, one starts another. I don't know, but I like having Holt in that lineup. Especially the other day, Phil, batting ninth to get on base 4 or 5 times, score 3-4 runs. To me, he kind of brings a little bit of an edge that I think that team can use from time to time.
What have you thought of approach for the hitters right now? Because that's what it's about to me. A struggle last weekend, and probably that first week too. Didn't put up as many runs as you expect, except for the second game. It's approach. It's not talent. It's not that they can't get the bat around quickly. It's not that they can't catch up with a fastball, or you know what it's like. It's more important what you don't swing at than what you do swing at, and they're swinging at too many bad pitches. That's what it looks to me.
I think you're right, and I don't have the benefit of being able to go back and bring up memories of those games in Arlington. I wasn't able to watch. I was busy and envious of you because you were there. I mean, there was some conversation about the zone being a little bit bigger than you have in the SEC. I will say this, our hitters seem to have a pretty good idea for the most part what's a ball and what's a strike, at least going across the plate, in and out, maybe not necessarily up and down. And it doesn't take a lot to kind of throw you off of that. I think a couple of points that go with it, they have not homered as much as I thought they would, and sometimes you're trying to get the big swing and you're trying to jack the ball and you get a little bit out of whack. The one thing Nate Thompson told Logan Forsythe and myself the other day around the cage, and I thought, this is a good note. We're going to throw it on TV. He talked to his hitters before the Grambling game and after that Arlington weekend, and he said, hey, guys, remember, we had a pretty good fall and we had a pretty good spring, and we're facing our pitching staff in scrimmages. We're facing Hagen Smith and Brady Tigert and Mason Molina and Gage Wood and Gabe Gackle. He goes, if we can hit those guys, we're going to hit. So let's not forget that we've got some talent too. And I think sometimes you got to just take a deep breath. And to your point, if you're expanding the zone, you're not swinging at good pitches, that's when things can get out of whack. And of course, we make a lot out of the first few weeks. We spend a lot of time talking about the start and what it looks like. When we have a pretty good idea in a couple of months, it still should be pretty good.
Brett, I want to ask you a basketball question. You get Tennessee at Alabama this year, and kind of for the SEC title. It could be for a number 1 overall seed right here. Now, Tennessee beat Bama back January 20th. They beat them in Knoxville, though, by 20. And we know it's hard to play at home court, but what's your thoughts right here, this Alabama-Tennessee game?
It's a fun one. I'm with you. I think when you start to look at number 1 seeds, or at worst number 2 seeds, this would have to have some type of impact. I've been a fan of Tennessee, and I said it maybe a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it's because I just sat there that entire game and watched them in person, and I wasn't flipping around between games. But to me, whether it's Connect and what that team can do from a size standpoint, I would probably take Tennessee, but I would like to see an SEC team get a high seed, maybe an opportunity to get to the Final Four, and I would probably put my chips on the table for the Vols. And again, I don't know if Alabama is quite as good defensively as Tennessee either, but that's one of the few games really in this conference over this last month that will get me to tune in.
Who else in this league do you think might be dangerous? Do you think Carolina can make a run? Kentucky, they've been putting up a ton of points of late. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, kind of on the bubble. Florida, I
like Florida.
Florida looks really good too.
I think South Carolina is intriguing, and that was another team that I didn't realize how good they were until they came through Bud Walton. And even after they won that game, I think we said, well, how did that happen? And now looking back, they're a better team than Arkansas is this year, and they're better than a lot of teams in the conference. Maybe I don't give them quite their due because they don't fit under that blue blood category in this conference like a Kentucky or even Tennessee over the last decade. But I think they're a Sweet 16 team. And, if you're a Sweet 16 team like Arkansas has been in recent years, you realize how close and sometimes how far you are from a Final Four. I mean, it's hard to get a couple of wins, and then you never know when you're going to go up against a 1 seed in the Sweet 16 game, or even when you get to the Elite Eight, you're probably playing somebody that's either really good or really hot or both. But I do think Carolina could be at least a second weekend type team.
Brett, what's it take for Arkansas to get back to being? I think this is just the anomaly year where I think Muss will figure it out and they'll be back next year in the tournament. But what was missing this year? What's this team going to have to go and get in this portal?
I think maybe early in the year, Matt, we were looking at a couple of things that weren't quite right, and at the end of the year, I think that list gets bigger and bigger. So. Muss and his crew are going to have a lot of work to do. It feels like, to me, this basketball season has been going on for 7 months. Mm-hmm. And when that's the case, it hasn't been fun. They were playing games in October, for crying out loud, and it just feels like this season has been going on forever, and it's probably because they've been running uphill for the last couple of months, and it's just exhausting to try and get to that point. I still think maybe there has to be a little bit of a balance between bringing in young players in the transfer portal. It's enticing, and it's not just Arkansas, just basketball. I think it's enticing to go out and try and fill voids quickly. And maybe the chemistry's not there, maybe something's lacking, maybe the habits that these guys have had over their previous 3 or 4 years elsewhere don't quite meet the criteria or standards of your current program. But I think there has to be maybe a balance between bringing in 1 or 2 really good freshmen a year and then a couple of transfers. The thing I don't like, Matt, and I think Muss and his staff worked so hard at the end of the year, and they were doing this in the middle of the tournament where maybe they'll have more time now. You've got to make decisions on guys in a couple of days. Mm-hmm. These transfer guys are getting 20, 30 different schools calling them. You're trying to put together a plan. You're trying to watch tape. You're trying to get them to commit even before you really get to the Final Four. That doesn't seem like the best philosophy because when you're recruiting high school kids, you're spending sometimes years looking at these guys and watching them. You've got to make quick decisions. It's speed dating, and I think sometimes you're just not going to get them all right. And I'm not saying the guys they brought in aren't good players, but it clearly didn't seem like they did not work well together. Their skill sets didn't quite match up with what Coach Muss wanted to. So I feel like he's the right guy to be able to get into that portal and do some damage, but I would imagine there'll be a little soul-searching or at least a post-mortem, if you will, on this season and how they want to kind of correct it going forward, because that staff does not enjoy losing, and nobody does. My goodness, Muss and his staff, they do not enjoy having to take some of these lumps this year, and I got great confidence they'll try and figure out a way not to have to go through anything like this again.
Brett, what are you calling this weekend? Where are you?
We got the big event at Minute Maid. It used to be the Shriners College Classic, so I've got just one game on Friday and Saturday and all 3 games on Sunday. We've got LSU and Vandy here, Phil, in Texas. So the LSU-Texas game, I think they said they've sold something like 25,000 tickets for a college baseball game. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think on Saturday night we've got the Raging Cajuns and the LSU Tigers. So it's going to be a lot of Louisiana people probably putting down some beverages at Minute Maid. And I'm looking forward to seeing Vandy and Texas and LSU and the other schools as well. So we'll see what this weekend looks like after 9 games and 5 telecasts for me.
Man, that sounds like a great weekend of baseball. Well, I'll be paying attention on the live box score. That's all I could say there. Appreciate you, Brett. Good call, and we'll visit next week, okay?
Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, Brett.
Brett Dolan will be on the call. I guess that's Flow Sports this weekend.
I don't know. Out of all of our guests, he's got it pretty good. You know, Fisherman Clay's got it pretty good, but Brett's got it. He's got it figured out. Bill King's got it figured out, and he's got it going on.
You got it figured out too, Matt.
Brett's got it. Oh, I don't. You know, I'm just happy to be here.
Hope I can help the ball club. Riley Farm Dental's at the entrance to Riley Farm. They'll provide you every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and same-day crowns available right now. Call for an appointment. Riley Farm Dental, 226-3500 or RileyFarmDental.com. Into the home stretch at halftime and right back.
KC Insurance wants to remind everyone they are your local, trusted insurance agency for all your life and health insurance needs. They are located in the North Bell Shopping Center at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison. Feel free to drop by the office anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., or call 870-517-1207 to schedule your appointment now. And don't forget, they are local people helping local people.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying sin. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. You got no money, you got no home. Spinning wheel, all alone. Talking about your troubles, you never learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn. Did you find the directing sign on the straight and narrow highway? Would you mind a reflecting sign? Just let it shine within your mind and
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, how's this for a sports leap for you? The vertical jump record at the NFL Combine was 46 inches. I think his former teammate, Gerald Sensabaugh, did it at the 2005
He's a
Combine.
North Carolina guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played at Jacksonville with him. He's a athlete. Oh, yeah. I didn't know he had the record.
46-inch vertical leap. And the article I see here, which is on NBC Dallas-Fort Worth, says to put that into perspective, Keon Johnson is the only player to go beyond 45 inches in the vertical leap at the NBA Combine. He went 48 inches.
Yeah, that when growing up and when you listen to people talk, everybody's like, "Oh, I run a 4.4." Everybody's like, "Oh, I got a 40-inch vertical." It's like, I caught this fish, and every time the story gets a little bit, fish gets a little bit bigger. But if you got over a 40-inch vertical, and there's something to be said about that. If you can run a sub 40, they can kind of correlate how many steps it takes, what it is to your vertical, but anything over 36 inches for vert is good, and then anything under 4.5 for a 40 is good.
Do you remember what you did
at the Combine?
Mm-hmm.
I think they had me 39.5, but I touched the 40. I didn't move it, but I felt it.
They don't count it if it doesn't move.
Didn't move,
it? Oh.
so it didn't get stuck at 40. Yeah,
needed some of that force that the Jedi seem to use. Thomas in Springdale is on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Thomas. What's going on?
I'm doing good. How are you, gentlemen?
Great, thank you.
I just want to put my little take in on famous sports leaps. Mine would be Troy Polamalu jumping over the offensive line to sack the quarterback.
You're speaking my language very well. Very good.
Yep, I'm a big Steelers fan as well, so that's something that I'll always remember. I see a lot of players doing it these days, and it's I think it's because they've seen him be successful at it, and I think a lot of defensive players tried doing that because of Troy.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I see differences in the snap count too. Have you seen this, Matt? And I saw this with a lot of NFL teams. I saw the Steelers do it all the time, where the right tackle would kind of put his fist out at the time that it was, to start the snap count essentially, and that's when the snap would occur. And I started thinking to myself, it's like you can see him do this. Now I can see him do it from the perspective of the television camera. Maybe not everybody on the football field can see it.
There's a lot more subtleties you catch when you're out there on the field than the TV. You don't see as much on the TV. And Troy was a very heady player.
Matt Vinson is the play. So we had somebody call up asking about this catch it bomb that was number 1 on SportsCenter. I wasn't there for it. Matt Vinson was the outfielder that pulled that off. And at a texter, or not, a tweeter, Brad, let me know about that. Yeah, thank you, Brad. I was not there for it. More sports leaps. By the way, BE says you shouldn't have clipped your fingernails that day.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's right.
Odell Beckham Jr., one-hand grab. That was a leap.
Man. Yeah,
Bo Jackson with a great catch. Now, this isn't a leap because he didn't leap. He ran up the fence. You remember that one? He ran up the fence.
Kept on running, yeah.
That's not leaping. That's defying gravity. is what that was. Another one of Vince Carter in the Olympics, which I think will always hit home with a lot of people. Very good.
Vince Carter over Alonzo Mourning. That's Vince probably has a couple of them, but the other one, the human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins.
Every dunk.
The young kids, I don't know if they know, but the best all-time dunker in the history of the NBA is Dominique Wilkins.
Did he win the first one?
Dude, the little pigeon-toed dude come out there and dunk on your face, man. He was Georgia. He's a Georgia Bulldog.
Oh, you see him when you go to Stegman. They've got his
best
face
dunker
there.
in the history of the game. Now he's not the best player by any means. But then I put Vince. I put Vince too.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Dunking.
Though. Pretty sure he's in Springfield.
So he had to go to Italy and win a championship. He got done with his NBA career in the 90s. There, and he ended up going to it was either Italy or France and winning some. But you've seen multiple players go over there. I think Allen Iverson was talking about how pretty Istanbul is. But it's first class, first world problems.
I didn't realize that Dominique Wilkins was drafted by Utah. I had no idea. 3rd overall pick in 1982 by the Jazz.
Because MJ went 3rd overall the next year. Yeah.
That's wild. The human highlight film. Yeah. It's a player that he never got to the NBA Finals.
He played on some bad Atlanta Hawk teams. You had a Mookie Baylock and a Stacey Ogman. You had a couple. Was it Tree Rollins? Might have been one of their big men's there. They had a big white dude who's kind of dorky, like a Ketliff or something. He was on their squad.
Played with Scott Hastings.
Didn't have. There you go. There's a white guy. There, he didn't have a lot of talent. Is the thing. I mean, he did not. He was kind of like Barry Sanders in Detroit. There's just not a lot of talent.
Look at this. Look at this. This 1985-86 Atlanta Hawks team. Antoine Carr, Scott Hastings, John Koncak.
That's John Koncak. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Doc Rivers, a young Doc Rivers.
Number 25.
Second year that Rivers played. Tree Rollins.
See.
Kevin Willis.
There's another one. Yeah.
Dude, they had power forward. Look at this. They had 3 7-footers, man. They had Scott Hastings, John Koncak, and Kevin Willis. And Tree Rollins, they had 5 of them, or 4 of them. I'm not counting right. And Dominique Wilkins, who was a guy who never played in the NBA Finals, but was as much fun as anyone to watch. I finally finished watching Four Falls of Buffalo on Netflix, the documentary that it doesn't really detail very much about any of those 4 regular seasons, but it does detail what happened in the playoffs and, of course, the Super Bowl. And not all of them, like Andre Reed, they don't have any live interviews with Andre Reed. They have interviews from back then when he was playing for him. Thurman Thomas and Bruce